in parts 1 and 2 we used a keyboard to look at the structure of blues and then analysed one of the great blues riffs and translated that over to harmonica in such a way that we used the harmonica as a rhythm instrument in much the same way as a guitar or a keyboard. And then we started to look at some contextual examples, and we'll continue that now. Now in this live clip I'm part of the rhythm section under the piano break, and it's one of those countless variations of a 12-bar blues. So though the sequence of chords might be a little different, you can tell what chord is playing when by what I'm actually doing. So on chord 1 I'm playing the usual. On chord 4 I've elected to play wide chords on chord 4 rather than that same riff, something like that. And then if it's chord 5 I'll be playing. Now we can talk a little more about chord 5. As I talked about in part 1, I'm actually playing the root of chord 5 then, and by doing that kind of thing I'm actually breaking the beat up into fractions of a beat, which sound quite complicated but is actually quite easy. Similarly in a conventional 12 bar, when you come to the turnaround you don't just stay on the root of chord 5. You're probably likely to do some little run or something a wee bit fancy. So let's just do an example of that coming out of a 12 bar. So if I play chord 5 and then chord 4 and then back to turnaround, that's a run down, a blow run down to get to the 5. So the 5 then is introducing the next cycle. Or you could go something like that. A number of variations, but you're not going to do just something dull like stay on the root of chord 5.
Well, I take her ride to dinner. Yeah, she's like a country horse. I take her ride to dinner. She's like a country horse.
So that's our last contextual example, and in that particular one I'm using the riff in a different way. I'm using it as a fill between vocal lines. So instead of using it as part of the framework of the music, it's a statement between vocals that you would normally make with a single note phrase. There are lots of ways you can use vampings. We've dealt in particular with the 1-4-1-7 set of chords. A lot of rock and roll is just a simple alternation between the 1 and the 4. Many of these train rhythms that harmonica players like to do use that same alternation, but just put a few little tongue poppings in as well. And so on. So that's yet another variation. But for me, the 1-4-1-7 set of chords with the wide chord flavour that you can impart to them is certainly a basis for a very strong vamping technique. So thank you for listening, and I hope you've got something out of this 3-part series.